My dearest one, there is a consecrated utterance I long to whisper into the sacred hush of your soul. Lean in now. This is not idle speech, but a holy unveiling, a revelation ripened for this very hour. We are nearing a moment carved out from eternity, a divine interval woven specifically for you. And beloved, it draws near, closer than breath. In mere moments, though measured differently in heaven's rhythm, you shall feel me enfold you. My nearness will come not as thunder, but as the hush between heartbeats, soft yet unmistakable, gentle but saturated with wonder. It will not resemble the usual cadence of your spiritual days. It will be the voice of my spirit brushing past the veil, reaching deep, not just to where your circumstances reside, but into the silken chambers of your unspoken ache and wonder. This sacred moment will awaken inner sanctuaries that only my spirit knows how to breathe upon, places others cannot reach, places even you have hidden from yourself. And when that breath comes, you will feel something open, a silent longing surfacing like dew at dawn. Desires long buried, once wrapped in silence or cloaked in forgetfulness, will rise again, gently summoned by my hand. You did not arrive at this hour by accident. I led you here, intentionally, lovingly, preparing the soil of your soul for something rare and richly personal, a new knowing, a fresh invitation, a door not opened by striving, but by simple trust. Let me make this luminously clear. This gift, this sacred nearness, is not a reward for perfection. It is not earned through flawlessness. It is given because of your quiet belief, your humble leaning, and your steadfast holding on, even when you felt threadbare and uncertain. Let these words settle deep within you. My love for you is resolute, unshaken, everlasting. It does not ebb and flow like human affection. It was with you before you could name it. It remained when you wandered or wrestled with me. Through missteps, sorrows, and seasons of silence, I have loved you without interruption. My love is not attached to your success, nor does it recoil from your struggle. It is born of my essence, eternal and unlosable. You cannot out-sin it, outrun it, or outgrow it. I know how often you've wrestled with your worth, how loudly other voices have tried to name you, how shame and the inner critic have whispered lies into your ears. But hear this from the one who sculpted your being. I do not see you through the lens of condemnation. I see you, the full picture, and still, I am captivated. I have seen the gentleness in your soul when you interceded for others in the shadows, while carrying your own burdens in silence. I've watched you forgive those who never asked. I've witnessed unseen sacrifices, moments where you laid down comfort, recognition, or pride. For the sake of love, these hidden offerings rise like incense before me. They are not forgotten. My pleasure in you is not based on outward strength or spiritual trophies. It springs from your persistence, your soul's refusal to give up, your returning heart, even when you felt adrift in shadow. I delight not in the impressive, but in the tender moments you said yes to me, in the midst of heartbreak, in the quiet ways you've kept showing up. I saw you choosing mercy when rage felt justified. I watched you withhold bitter words, offering grace in thought, even when your heart trembled. I noticed your choice to walk in humility, when pride would have been easier. These are no small things in my sight. They are holy echoes of my own heart. Let me tell you something sacred and sure. Your gentleness has power. Your quiet resilience sings. Your persistent hope has stirred heaven's winds. And because of that, something has shifted. Invisible realms have moved. Atmospheres have changed. A threshold stands before you now. Today marks a quiet coronation, a turning point written not in trumpet blasts, but in holy stillness. You are moving from weariness into renewal, from merely enduring into overflowing. Do not expect ease, for growth still carries labor. But know this, you will never again walk alone. Even now, I wrap you in a calm assurance. You are mine, marked, carried, treasured. No failure, no fear, no forgotten hour can erase this truth. You belong to me. Let your soul breathe. Let your thoughts still. I am not disappointed in you. I am pleased. Truly, deeply pleased. Not for your performance, but for your heart, for your sincere yearning to walk with me, through storm and sun alike. Yes, I saw the nights you wept in silence. I heard the questions you couldn't speak aloud. I noticed your internal wars, your hesitations, your moments of near collapse. But what touched me most was that you kept walking. Tired, yes, but walking. You kept praying when you felt nothing. You forgave again, not because it was deserved, but because you began to understand. Forgiveness was your freedom, not their vindication. Your mercy, your endurance, your inner yielding. These have created divine openings. You did not win these victories by sheer will. You simply refused to let go. You kept your flicker of hope alive, in the face of bitter winds. I am proud of you, not the world's pride, but the holy kind, the pride of a father who sees his child choosing light. Again and again, even when others misunderstood you, even when your motives were doubted, even when your wounds ran deep, and the path seemed endless. You chose love, you chose grace, you chose me. Those hidden moments, where no applause rang out, are recorded in heaven's scroll, and they have weight, they hold value. Because of your hidden choices, new doors now stand ajar. Blessings you couldn't earn, and peace you couldn't produce, are being released to you, not as proof of your goodness, but as signs of mine. So arise now, not with fanfare, but with quiet resolve. Step into this next chapter, with renewed vision and soft confidence. The past has shaped you, yes, but it no longer cages you. I am crafting something new. Healing, strength, clarity. I am forming them in your hands. And above all, know this as absolute truth. You are mine, fully, forever, not overlooked, not forgotten, not disqualified. You are the beloved one, held in unceasing grace, cradled in unwavering love, and walked with every moment by me. You have borne the gravest of weights, seasons when your world teetered on the edge of unraveling. Yet even then, even in the breathless hush of near collapse, you resisted the call to forsake all hope. Though your steps faltered, though uncertainty veiled the path ahead, you rose, quietly, tenderly, determinedly. You pressed onward, not in bold strides, but in the slow, sacred rhythm of perseverance. Each hesitant step, each breath of forward motion made beneath sorrow's shadow, whispers volumes to me of your trust. Do you understand the gravity of these small, hidden choices? The unseen offerings of your heart. What others overlook, I behold with profound attention. Your internal struggles, the silent wars no one applauds, resound within me like sacred psalms. It is not the loud triumphs or the public applause that stir my heart. It is the hushed endurance, the choice to believe when belief felt impossible. I saw you when you chose gentleness instead of rage, when you whispered prayers rather than surrendered to resentment, when generosity flowed from you in secret, when love overcame pride. I noticed. These sacred choices have not vanished into obscurity. They have quietly gathered in the vault of my remembrance, awaiting the sacred hour when they shall bear fruit in fullness. Your struggle, your hidden strength, your quiet loyalty, they have not echoed in emptiness. Joy will rise like dawn to replace the sorrows you have quietly shouldered. My presence has walked beside you, not merely in sunlight, but through every long midnight. Even in the silence of confusion, when you felt forsaken or lost within your own mind, I was near, immovable, unwavering. Believe this, no trial, no wait, no tear-stained detour was meaningless. Nothing befell you by chance. Each chapter was meticulously measured by my hand, shaped by wisdom, held within the bounds of my boundless care. You may not yet perceive the harmony within the chaos, the architecture behind the ache. But trust me, nothing has been wasted. Every sigh, every prayer behind closed doors, every quiet surrender, I gathered them like jewels. From these ashes, I have forged within you a depth that no ease could ever yield. What emerged is not just survival, but the flowering of something rare, a grounded strength, unshakable grace, a clearer gaze turned toward me. While others may judge you by surface and circumstance, I look deeper into the marrow of your devotion, the endurance that asked for no audience, the faith that stood even while trembling. And now, hear me clearly, something new nears. A turning page, long awaited, is upon you, not because you forced its arrival, but because the appointed time has come. All your wilderness wanderings, your nights of unanswered questions, your patient labor in unseen soil, they were not void. They were the making of you. They tempered your heart, trained your discernment, and enlarged your capacity for my presence. Soon, you shall behold what I promised, the substance of your prayers, the ripening of seeds you sowed in faith. What's coming is not a mere prize. It is the inevitable harvest of a soul that refused to yield to hopelessness. I do not ask for perfection, only readiness. Remain awake in spirit. Don't allow weariness to dim your vision or dull your holy expectancy. Guard the quiet flame within. Let it burn with gentle steadiness. Every rhythm of your days has always resided in my eternal awareness. Before you inhaled your first breath, your footsteps were etched in the architecture of my divine design, not crafted by human intent, but woven with the precision of my intentional affection. Nothing in your life is coincidental. Even your deepest regrets, your missteps and misshapen seasons, are the raw material I use to sculpt resilience and meaning. I do not linger in the shadows of your past errors. I peer into your restoration with eyes full of promise. Where you perceived insufficiency, I recognized untapped reservoirs of might. Your weariness became the threshold for my reinforcement. Those fragile hours of breaking became sacred thresholds, refining you for a realm you have not yet imagined. This unfolding era is not a mere circumstantial alteration. It is a holy summons to deeper revelation. I will escort you into mysteries your intellect alone could never unveil. Long-hidden treasures, not unearthed by curiosity, but entrusted through faithfulness, will now arise before you. What once lived in your thoughts as abstract truths will now be experienced in tangible, daily certainty. Your hope is being reforged, not as fleeting optimism, but as a rooted and immovable assurance. You will not traverse this landscape alone. I will orchestrate divine alignments, souls who discern the beauty buried within you, who amplify your quiet strength instead of shrinking from it. They will walk beside you with reverent encouragement. The paths you approach have already been prepared in advance for your arrival. When storms swell and feel beyond your grasp, you will recall this. Your sufficiency is not derived from your own hand, but from my indwelling nearness, unchanging, uninterrupted, unshakable. From this moment forward, your sense of value will no longer hinge on fleeting affirmation. It will be fastened to my steady gaze, which has never wavered from you. You were chosen, long before success ever whispered its conditions. You do not need to prove yourself through accomplishment. You were mine before the world had a name for victory. Every new responsibility before you is not a burden, but an entrusted honor. I only extend weight after equipping the foundation. Don't be discouraged if the wide vista still appears veiled. I only ask you to walk one breath at a time. Heed my whispers, follow the subtle leadings, and guard a heart steeped in sincerity. Faith is not the result of certainty, but the courage to respond in the absence of it. And this living trust is what gladdens my heart more than any visible triumph. I will elevate you, not for spectacle, but to unveil my nature through your surrendered steps. My fingerprints will be evident in the smallest kindnesses, in the unseen sacrifices, in gentle mercies only I witnessed. Every circumstance in this season, even those cloaked as trials, holds sacred potential. Nothing in your life is accidental. I have placed each moment deliberately within my grand mosaic of compassion. I am forming something enduring within you, something eternal. And through your life, others will find their compass. Stand your ground. Do not dismiss the quiet vows I have whispered into the chambers of your spirit. Embrace this new unfolding with confidence, knowing I will not cease until my intentions shine fully from your life. Lean in now. Something exquisite is emerging. Something rare and radiant is being unwrapped in your days. What approaches is not merely a prize. It is my lavish kindness, exceeding the measure of your expectations. What once defined your standards no longer applies. I am doing something unprecedented, beyond the reach of your previous imagining. Your past did not detour you. It expanded your spirit to receive more. Every hardship deepened your capacity. Before the new could arrive, I had to strengthen your soul's foundation. And now that foundation is strong enough to hold what I am revealing. Not just provision, but a profound encounter with me. This is not merely a season of receiving gifts. This is communion. This is not about outward abundance, but inward intimacy. The stories you've heard others recount are now becoming your own lived testimony. What once were faint whispers will now speak clearly in your soul, anchoring you in joy that replaces anxiety with divine calm. I will speak with you directly and continuously. My direction won't be reserved for major decisions, but will saturate the ordinary. Chance encounters, unexpected detours, dreams that speak louder than daylight. Your awareness of my nearness will intensify. You will behold me not just in miracles, but in the mundane. Every breath will carry the pulse of my presence. You stand at a sacred juncture, not merely between seasons, but at the doorway of deeper knowing. Listen well, this is not a passing phase. It is a holy awakening. Your inner terrain is being transformed. What you once pursued in hunger, you now embody with grace. Not for self-glory, but so you may walk others toward their own dawn. Your time of learning has turned into a time of quiet leadership. Now begins your tender commission, to be a living answer to the silent questions in others. The way you carry each moment will become a mirror of my faithfulness. Let your heart anticipate with peaceful boldness. Release the hesitation that old disappointments left behind. Do not confine me within the limits of your past. Do not filter my voice through the lens of past pain. You do not need the full map, only the courage to take the next step. You already know my constancy deep within. Let that knowing give rise to a bold stillness. This sacred bravery, to walk forward in the dark, is how transformation will manifest. Let your spirit rise above fatigue, above old narratives of doubt. Gently unclench what you've held in fear. Let go of the shadows that visited you in lonely hours. Stand in silent expectancy, poised to receive in ways you've never experienced. I am not simply improving your circumstances. I am revealing my character through your surrendered daily living. I long to show the world what becomes possible through someone who quietly trusts where I lead. I am not looking for flawless ones. I am drawn to the willing. And you, my beloved, have reached this moment, not with applause or attention, but through sacred choices no one saw. You chose patience when frustration screamed. You forgave when bitterness seemed justified. You kept walking when it would have been easier to sit in despair. Each quiet act of compassion has not gone unnoticed. They are seeds breaking through the soil into something larger, warmth and light for places once left barren. So, prepare yourself. I am shifting your story. Do not cling to what is familiar. Comfort is not your compass. I am. Allow me to expand your perspective. Let me reorient your course toward the extraordinary. The road ahead calls for deeper trust, but it also holds the serenity you've longed for, a joy not reliant on outcomes, but rooted in our unbreakable connection. I remain the same, yet always revealing more. I will clarify what is hazy, soothe what aches, and elevate what was once overlooked. You are ready. The unseen has been working in your favor. Now, beloved, rise into what waits for you. Even when you feel adrift or uncertain, know this: I am walking beside you with unwavering companionship, invisible, but ever near. I am not merely initiating a shift, but birthing something sacred through you, a genuine turning, an unfeigned redirection of purpose, one stitched with eternal significance. This isn't because you possess flawless skill or natural perfection, but because you've decided to lean wholly on my infinite sufficiency. Step forward with a deep-seated assurance, knowing that every moment you live will not only reshape you from within, but will also call others home to my heart. Your life will be a living manuscript of my devotion, a quiet, radiant testimony to my faithful care. What seems like ordinary perseverance will shimmer with hidden glory. You're entering a chapter of elevated clarity and intimacy, but I beckon you, raise your gaze. Don't anchor your perception in the flickers of circumstance or the weather of your emotions. Look past the veil of temporary feelings and bygone wounds. Let me refine your inner sight, so that even when outward change seems dormant, you discern my hand crafting subtleties. This isn't merely a belief system. It is a holy posture of existence, a sacred rhythm of trust that recognizes every thread in your story is divinely spun. Nothing in your life is random. Not a sigh, not a delay, not a tear. I am intricately interlacing every moment into a masterwork of intentional beauty, sculpting goodness from places you deemed broken beyond hope. The worries you once embraced as permanent burdens will dissolve in the light of my redemption. Even your seasons of silence and isolation, those places you believed fruitless, will soon be redefined as gardens of unseen growth. I am not driven by your worthiness, but by my unshakable promise to you. My steady love is the shield that prevents even the fiercest storm from unraveling what I've destined. In the places where scarcity once lived, emotional barrenness, relational ache, fading hope, I will pour abundance from a deeper, inexhaustible spring. This won't always look like material provision. It will be the flourishing of your soul, a fullness, a joy that doesn't evaporate with the setting sun. You will overflow from the inside out. That internal wellspring will refresh others. The chances you thought were lost, the bridges you thought were burned, I will rebuild them as monuments of my dependability. Shallow pleasures will lose their grip on you, replaced by a lasting satisfaction that quietly illuminates those around you. Where you once felt hollow, I will plant stability. Where sorrow cast its shadow, I will usher in gentle light and renewed gladness. I have seen it all, every hidden ache, every unshed tear, and I hold each moment with tender remembrance. My intention is not just to mend your wounds, but to transform your scars into strength. From your past trials, I will draw forth resilience, not a hardened exterior, but a softened strength that offers comfort to others walking their own valleys. Your journey will echo hope into places that forgot how to dream. When confusion dulls your clarity, I will draw back the curtain gently. You won't remain trapped in foggy indecision. You will begin to sense the way ahead, not always in booming revelation, but through gentle deposits of wisdom I give over time. No, I haven't promised a road without hardship, but every stone upon it will be placed under your feet with purpose, because I am guiding your every step. You will know me, not as a far-off deity, but as an abiding companion, silent and strong, never absent. When you look back, your heart will recognize my fingerprints all along the way, and gratitude will bloom where once there was doubt. Not because you failed to trust, but because my goodness will exceed even your boldest expectations. Even when you felt overlooked or adrift, I remained. I never shifted. I don't desire a place in your beliefs alone. I long for you to feel me near, to know the warmth of my nearness, to sense the whisper of your name in moments of stillness. I am always present, steady in affection, immune to your setbacks, unwavering through every season. Root yourself in this unshakable love. When difficulty comes knocking, remember, my voice is the truest one. When others misread you, or your own thoughts accuse you, recall my view of you. It is the only one unclouded by fear or failure. I never required perfection, only your willingness. I don't call those already prepared. I equip the ones who say yes. The strength you need won't come from pushing harder. It will rise gently within, from the quiet power of my spirit. The endurance you seek is forged in daily reliance, not isolated effort. I am not a bystander. I walk beside you with deep investment, hand in hand through every shadow and sunlight. Remain open. Keep your expectations alive. Don't allow yesterday's sorrows to cloud today's vision. I am doing something wondrously new, but if your eyes are still fixed on what's been lost, you might overlook what's emerging. Let me renew your mindset, your heart space, your posture toward life. I am rewriting your story, not with fanfare, but through quiet mercies, persistent love, and a vow to see it through until peace becomes your permanent state. As you begin sensing this shift and preparing your heart for what lies ahead, pause, because I must share something essential. Don't only cling to me and struggle, remain spiritually awake during ease. Some of the deepest snares come quietly in times of comfort, disguised as harmless possibilities. Guard your spirit like one protects a fire in the night. Be wary of charm without truth, of doors that open but lead nowhere. When I open a path, others may appear that seem inviting, but not all are rooted in my purpose. Don't forget who sustained you when you had nothing. Don't trade my whisper for the applause of the crowd. When the world rushes in with praise, remain anchored to the voice that steadied you when everything crumbled. Choose integrity over flattery. Let timeless truth be your compass. When approval floods in or attention feels intoxicating, let your soul stay tethered to what is real and eternal. Resist the urge to glorify your achievements or chase admiration. All good things flow from me, and I will protect you from the subtleties that success can bring. Truth does not pivot with fortune. It remains still, even when everything around you moves. Let it shape your decisions. When your thoughts race with noise or old regrets rise, take a breath. Retreat into quiet. Return to me. I am always speaking, not through volume, but through steadiness and compassion. My voice will always recenter you. I do not shame, I guide. I lovingly correct and lift your gaze to what's lasting. When you feel pulled in too many directions, hush the outer world. Let our connection be like tending a sacred flame on a winter night. Don't grow forgetful in ease. Those are the times you most need our closeness, not just for the storms, but to stay grounded in truth when comfort tempts you to drift. I know your whole soul, the insecurities, the silent battles, the motives no one else sees. That's why I offer this not as control, but as protection, for your peace, your authenticity, your future. Hold fast to this bond, and you will walk in freedom, not fear. What matters most isn't recognition, but how true you remain when no one else is looking. I will elevate your life not for praise, but so your daily living, your unseen choices, your quiet kindness, speak louder than any platform. Those drawn to the light and you are not looking for spectacle. They're searching for humility anchored in calm purpose. Be that light, not because you are flawless, but because you are surrendered to quiet transformation. Honor is formed in the kept promise, the gentle word, the consistent yes. That is the character I am building in you. Celebrate goodness, yes, but don't let joy distract you from me. These blessings are not replacements for intimacy. You were never designed for constant rush, but for continual companionship with the one who carries every answer. Stay near. Let's walk on. When you dwell near, truly near, you won't merely receive. You'll become a conduit, a living stream that spills sacred essence into others. Clarity will rise in you like morning mist kissed by dawn. No haze, no confusion. In that hallowed hush, I will entrust to you the marrow of mysteries, revelations meant only for those whose hearts keep covenant in continual nearness. As you release what is poured into you, watch the sacred echo ripple outward. Even a modest act, bare as a whisper, can crystallize into an enduring lifeline for a weary soul. This is where true weight resides. Fear not the slowing. Do not shrink from the stillness. For in those sacred pauses, when earth quiets her roar, my words ring crystalline, clearer than any thunder. Silence is the soil in which deep discernment is sown. Each time you choose me over the throb of noise or the ache for validation, your inner structure roots itself in something immovable, an eternal bedrock. That foundation will sustain you when storms uncoil again, and never once will you be left to weather them unaccompanied. Over time, you will see the pattern emerge like constellations in the dark. The quieter your soul, the sharper your compass. Honor the interludes of stillness. They are not detours, but sacred forges where strength is tempered in calm. Those hushed seasons are not barren. They birth quiet confidence. Embrace this eternal truth. There will never be a terrain where my compassion cannot find you. Every footfall you take will be met with sacred companionship. I will not merely signal the path. I will pace beside you, every step a shared breath. You are never walking shadow trails alone. Each decision, each movement is wrapped in care and whispered guidance. Etch this into your being. I have always cared for you. And if you keep your heart as an open sanctuary, humble, awake, honest, I will do things through you that defy logic. What I begin in you will not halt. It will spill into eternity, honoring all that holds sacred worth in ways beyond your vision. What I place in your hands now is not for storage, but for sowing. Scatter it in word, in deed, in tender presence, never seeking acclaim, never needing a nameplate. I have not fashioned you to clutch, but to release. Gifts hidden behind locked gates cannot nourish. Let your giving be abundant and untamed, propelled by the quiet force of grace. To give without ledger keeping is to open a portal for joy unpredicted. And when you hold nothing back, you'll find that generosity begins to shape your entire world in subtle but astonishing ways. I will draw souls to you, not to spotlight you, but to experience me through your yielded life. You'll recognize needs not spoken aloud. Your gaze will pour gentleness, your hands will extend refuge, and your words will become breath, not because of eloquence, but because they rise from holy depth. In such openness, transformation takes root, not only in those you meet, but in you, as we journey and evolve in union. Do not let fatigue or disconnection dim your interior flame. Do not sever our sacred thread. Return to me daily, not just to be filled, but to be made new. No soul burns brightly alone. Only through this bond of sacred tethering does your spirit remain aglow. Do not let fear, doubt, or the remnants of old wounds veil your radiance. Entrust me with your scars, and I will transmute them into lenses through which your light refracts more brilliantly. Renewal is not a moment, it is a rhythm, a daily turning. Make space each day to inhale, to reflect, to listen, so that your light never flickers out. Your glow is not meant to resemble another's. I didn't craft you to be a replica, but a revelation. A singular flame. There is a warmth in you, a particular cadence in your being that holds profound meaning. Resist the urge to measure yourself against others' chapters. You cannot read their entire scroll, nor can they glimpse the totality of yours. Be faithful to the blueprint I wove into your essence, not for applause, but because it fulfills divine intention. That authentic posture, when released, will illuminate paths for others. Your distinct rhythm matters, even if it whispers or goes unseen. Let that be enough. and trust that what you carry into the world is part of a tapestry far greater than what your eyes can trace. There will be moments when your worth feels paper thin. You'll ask, why me? But it is precisely because you do not lean on your own strength that I have chosen you. It is your awareness of your frailty that makes you a vessel of sacred utility. Trust that what feels like weakness may be the very passage through which I pour greatest strength. Those with quiet minds are often the ones who cradle what matters most. And when you open yourself with no agenda to impress, I move freely, mightily, gently. It's not your human prowess that changes things. It's your willingness to move when I whisper. Even when your step trembles, if it is in obedience, I will turn it into purposeful ground. Each breath, each deed, becomes part of a holy current. These thin, invisible threads of surrender become the seams where real change is stitched. Even when no one sees, when your offering is hidden in the background, I see it all. I see when you choose mercy over retaliation, when you extend forgiveness instead of gripping pain, when you step forward with quiet courage instead of retreating. Those small obediences burn brightest because they arise from a consecrated heart. Trust this. Each day will carry new invitations to practice this tender faith, to disperse sacred kindness in the ordinary. And never once will you be forsaken. Amen.